Hello, what an honor. I'm Michelle Berry Franco, and I want to tell you a story about an 8-year-old little girl who loved dog sled racing. She loved dog sled racing so much that she decided at 8 years old that she was going to race in the Iditarod, which is a remarkable thing for an 8-year-old to decide as it is. But the more remarkable thing is that Rachel Sidoris, many of you know, is legally blind. And not only did Rachel race in one Iditarod in 2006, but she just finished her second Iditarod. What we know about Rachel, the story driving her life, not legal blindness. The story driving her life, a dream to race in the Iditarod. So it's all story. And the best part is we get to create ours. So I'm going to tell you stories about stories. I'm going to give you ideas for how to reveal your own stories, and then give you tips for how to craft a story that best serves your life. So I'd like you to meet my dad. My dad had 5 kids and a new wife and not enough money to pay the bills. So he decided, I'll be an insurance agent. So he, first day on the job, drives his beat-up Toyota Corolla to some cul-de-sac in a nice family neighborhood and nearly throws up. There is no way I can get out of this car and have people slam the door in my face. However, my dad had a story. And the story was, I have 5 mouths to feed. So he took his nausea up to those front doors, knocked on the door, and built a pretty nice insurance agency, and clearly, we ate fine. So the story you tell is the story that you live. If you tell yourself you're not a morning person, it's pretty hard for you to get up at 6 a.m. to do that run that you've been talking about doing to live the healthier life that you've been wanting to live. So my question to you is, what is your story? And as you think about that, how's it serving you? We don't always know the stories that are driving our lives, so here's what I recommend. Embody a fascinated interviewer. And grab a recording device and sit down and ask yourself this question. How did you get here? And the subtext of that is, what is the story that's driving your life? And as you listen to yourself answer these questions, you'll notice purpose, and you'll notice truths that you've chosen. And then you'll notice actions you've taken based on those truths that you've chosen. And I want you to take a good look at the combination of those things and say to yourself, ask yourself, is this serving me? Is this the story that best serves my life? Because you chose those truths. There are many truths. What if you had a different story? What if you had the story that you were a poet? Might you sit down and write down that prose that's been floating around in your mind? After all, you're a poet. Might you get up at 6 a.m. and do that run if you thought, I am a morning person? You decide the stories. That's the beauty of it. And don't limit yourself. After all, you could be a bodybuilder, and then an actor, and then you could be the governor of California. So let the stories shine. Whatever stories you feel inspired by, they're yours to choose, because truth is a many-windowed house. And when you look in the front window, you see furniture, images on the walls. And it's true, those are real. But guess what? You can go around the corner, there's another window. Isn't that great? From that window, there are other truths in that same room, and we're just like that. We have complexity and richness. You get to choose the story that drives your life. So take a look inside that story and make sure you're crafting the one that you want to be living. So as you look at your answer to the questions in your You interview, ask this about those truths that you've chosen. Ask yourself, is this really true? Because sometimes we make up stuff. And then, if it is that the only truth? And what other truth could I choose from that complex, rich pool of truths that could be serving me better? So what true story serves me? When you shed light on the story, you actually become the storyteller. So you get to write the next chapter in your story. Until you do that, until you ask yourself, What's driving my life right now? It's hard to recraft the story, write the next chapter. Before 3 days ago, there's no way, I would have told you there's no way I could build 20 slides in a day and a half. I am no designer. Today, my story has changed. So what I want to know from you is, what is your big, bold, brazen story? And I'd love to hear from you. I'm at Michelle B. Franco on Twitter, and Michelle at eloquencecommunication.com.